because it makes your backend code so easy to develop. Also, many big companies like Netflix and Uber use Express in their backend. And another big reason is it is a part of MERN and main stack. This E represent as express.js. So here is the Express.js crash course in which you will learn how to create RESTful APIs like get, post, put, patch and delete. In short, all CRUD APIs. After that, you will learn how to validate the data, sending errors, returning proper status code like 404 not found, 201 for success, etc. Also, additionally you will learn about middlewares and how to create own middlewares in Express, which is very helpful and advanced concept. Also, you will learn much more about Express. So after completing this crash course, you will get clarity and confidence for using Express. You will learn all these things step by step, so everything will clear to you and you can understand Express in details. So let's start with building RESTful APIs, but before that API and RESTful. So let's start with building RESTful APIs, but before that, do you know what is the difference between simple API and RESTful API? Let's quickly see that first. Now, as we know, API stands for Application Programming Interface, and it is the way for two programs communicate with each other. In simple words, API is used to transfer data between frontend to backend and backend to frontend. We already know that, right? Now you might ask, what is REST API? So REST API stands for Representational State Transfer API. REST API is a specific way of building our simple APIs. Don't worry about its name, it's very simple. So REST API is the same API, but we have to follow some rules to build that API. If we follow some rules, that simple API becomes REST API. Now let's see some rules which we have to follow to make REST API. One rule is we have to define separate API URL for each piece of data. For example, suppose we are creating API for user-related operations like register a user, getting the information of single user, etc. In this case, our API should be our domain name and then /user for register. And if we want to get information about single user, then we create API URL like /user/123. Here, 123 is a user unique ID. Same as if we create API related to products, then our URL should be like this: /products/123/products/add to cart, etc. So by simply looking at this API URL, we get the basic idea related to our APIs, and by that we can easily do changes and our application stay clean. Another rule is different types of actions like reading, adding, updating or deleting data should use specific HTTP methods. Now you might ask, what are HTTP methods? So as we know, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it allows our frontend to request and receive web pages and other resources from servers using API. So only because of HTTP we are able to send and receive data from backend using API. Now this HTTP has 5 main methods: get, post, put, patch and delete. Let me explain you this one by one. First one is the get method. We use get method when we want to only get data from the server. For example, we want to get all users details, or we want to get all products details, or we want to get single product detail. In this case, we define our API with get method. For understanding these methods, we will use analogy of library. So get method is like asking a librarian to show you a book or multiple books. Don't worry about implementation, we will see all methods step by step in this section. Second, we have post method. We use post method when we want to post or send some data from frontend to create a new data in our server. For example, for register a new user, we have to send user data from the front end and that will create a new data in our server. Think it's like we giving new book to librarian for add the book in library. Next we have put method. We use put method when we want to update an existing data on the server with new data. For example, if you change your profile information on a website and save it, then a put request is sent to update your profile with the new details. Think it's like giving librarian an updated version of a book to replace the old one. Next, we have patch method. We use patch method when we want to update a piece of small data, not entire data. For example, if we want to update just our email address in our profile without changing anything else, then a patch request can be used. Think it's like we are giving librarian just the updated pages of a book to update rather than replace the whole book. Imagine here we have user object in our server. We want to complete this user object, then which method we will use? Right, we use put method. And if we want to update just the password of this user, then which method we will use? Right, we will use patch method. You are doing really great. So put method is used for whole data update and patch method is used for little update in the existing data. Now last method is delete. And you guessed correctly. We will use delete method for delete data from the server. For example, when we delete a post or a comment on social media, then a delete request is sent to remove it from the server. And for that, I don't think we need library analogy, right? And also, it is not practical. Think it's like asking librarian to remove a book from library. So you can see HTTP methods are very simple. We will use these 5 HTTP methods to define our different types of API. So these are just few rules we currently see, but don't worry, we will learn all these rules as we build APIs. Now you might ask why we need REST API, why we need to follow rules for building API. So by following any rules, we can make things organized. And that's true for REST API also. Rules will make our API more. Also, by following REST API rules, we create a simple and easy to use API because they use specific HTTP methods for doing specific types of work. Also, with rules, we can create a clean and maintainable API which any developers can understand and start working on them. For now, don't worry about rules. As I said, you will learn these rules while you create APIs. So let's start building our first Node.js project. I am very excited and I know you are too. Now before we start any project, it's better to roughly plan about that project. So as we know, our first project is about managing the task. And here how its front end looks like. Also, this is the first project of my React.js course and we will build this project backend as our first backend project. Don't worry, we are not going to create here front end because our main focus is on the Node.js and building the best backend for our applications. From the front end, we just need to call APIs. Now you might ask, how can we plan Node.js project? It is very simple. This is the method I used for planning my backend project, even big projects. Instead of building project first and then doing major modifications, it's better to spend little time on planning before we start our project. So for backend project, if we create the list of APIs, that's very useful because backend is almost all about APIs. So for this project, first we need the list of all to-dos. So one API for getting all to-dos. After that, we need to create API for adding a new task. And after that, we can update the single task details. So one API for updating the task. And at the end, we need to delete single to-do. So another API for delete specific task. So currently, we know we need these 4 APIs. And we will create 2-3 extra APIs for practice. If while building project we need to create more APIs, then we will create more APIs. There is nothing wrong about that. This is just a rough plan for reduce the confusion. Now let's create a fresh application for our project. So open the folder in which you want to create project and I name it as task track. And simply open this folder in the VS Code. This is the name of our project. Is it sounds good? I hope it is. If you have better name, then you can also use it. It's totally up to you. Now what we have to do for creating Node.js applications? Do you remember? We just did that in our previous section. Yes, simply we open our terminal and initialize our project using npm init. And for all yes, we will use -y here. See, we get package.json file with some default config. Here we can see our main file is index.js, which is the file runs when we start our application. So let's create index.js file and that's it. Here in this file, we will write code for our backend. So in the previous section, we create our server using HTTP module. And the problem with the HTTP module is we have to define our different API endpoints in this if and else if statements, which is not very clear and also not easy to maintain for big projects. So that's why we use very popular package or module called express.js. Express.js is minimal and flexible for creating better Node applications. In simple words, by using express.js, we can simplify our routes, we can easily handle HTTP request and response, middlewares and much more things. Let me show you something. Here is the Express package on npm.js website. We can see its weekly downloads are almost 37.2 million, which is